Hi, hello, welcome to the Consularship brought to you by Vertex of Abundance. My name is Serene Priestess Abossi. I'll be your oracle today. I was sent to deliberate an open reading. I know there was something else to talk about, but it escaped my mind. It will come back with a vengeance, though. No need to worry. So we're just gonna do a channeled reading, see what comes through, and trust me, I'll be back. Um, or at least this whatever's on my mind or whatever brought me will come back. It will come back. Okay. So what I'm seeing so far is we keep getting this message about receiving grace. It keeps coming back. And I don't know who needs to hear this right now, my dear. Um, okay, so for the students, studenti. Okay, Six of Cups is receiving anointing. Six of Cups is also sanctuary. Sanctuary is refuge plus safe space. It's also being in the Garden of Eden. It's different than receiving grace, which is the Six of Swords, because the Six of Swords is also an envoy commission. It's the River Styx, where it's not. I don't think his name is Abraxas, but there's a ferryman on the river Styx that kind of stewards you along. And there needs to be like a pavement. And the pavement is not always the coin, but the Greeks know what I'm talking about. It's more of the payment is something needs to be removed. So outside of Greek circles, it's often a pound of flesh, and I don't always mean an actual pound of flesh. It might, because sometimes when you go into that realm, there's a mark on you. Five of Wands. It can be the mark of Cain, but there's an imprint of some kind, karma, which weighs you down. And so that's also what karma is. It's an imprint. When your heart is lighter, you don't stay in that exact realm. You may go up in realms. You may go up the realms, up the ladder, and eventually you may enter into the divine realm. Okay. For some reason that's relevant. Six of Pentacles is receiving favor. So yeah, it can be breadcrumbing, it can be some equally beneficial nursing needs exchange, it can be breadcrumbing, but it's more you ask and you receive, or you ask and you align into the thing that's there. Because the secret in the universe is that a heart full of love will help you ascend. You may have to learn a couple few lessons. Some of them may even be rather difficult. But if your heart keeps centering or resetting, like when you hit the factory reset, when you hit the system reset and you restore factory settings, if the baseline is always love, you're kind of good to go. It may take you some moments, it may take you some time, it may take you a couple lifetimes, but you'll figure it out. That's the thing with the Six of Pentacles. So you get out what you put in. So a lot of times people don't put in love. And the thing about this, the Five of Pentacles, is that the energy there is thinking. You don't think that you're worthy of God's love for whatever reason, shape, form, or another, whatever, what have you, so on and so forth. It always comes down to the only reason you can't perceive God's love is because you don't think you're worthy of it. We always have our list of rhymes and reasons, like we're terminally unique and actual factual and whatever, and what have you. But that's always what it's going to come back to. And then the Sixth of Wands is glory. You receive glory. Okay. So the other thing is the Five of Wands. That's when you're in some type of jealousy, hate. Now it's crossings, competitions, crossings, conundrums, contestations, cascading, compounding, cacophonies of karma. That's what the Five of Wands is. It's crab in that's Five of Cups. Five of Cups is crab in a bucket. The thing with the Five of Wands and the Five of Cups is those, respectability politicking. Okay. So the individuality shaming, the tone policing, the concern trolling, the compassion baiting, basically it's the respectability politicking. It's the whole virtue signaling thing. Okay, so that's what I'm getting. There's also some kind of mounting confrontation. Something's going to be perceived that's right there, right in front of us, but it's misaligned, or there's a hidden agenda, or there's an ulterior motive. There may even be enemies. And honestly, not all enemies are like people, places, and things. Sometimes an enemy is just something that enables us to not do the work, to not kind of peer into the depths of our soul, to not, you know, touch base with that subconscious part of ourselves, the thing that kind of perpetuates or reinforces fear mechanisms, trigger responses. And isn't that an oxymoron that sometimes a negative trait could be there because of positive reinforcement? Believe it or not, we can positively reinforce negative traits. It's one of those oxymorons like, true replica or original copy. You hear what I'm saying? It's like one of those things that doesn't quite make sense. Um, so this door is opening up, or this window of opportunity where basically we get with the program where we learn the truth, and this truth is going to be a delayed truth. It doesn't matter if it's honestly, bona fide, genuinely, sincerely, authentically a delayed truth. It will hit us some kind of way where we're like, oh, I should have known sooner. Even if we knew the moment we saw it, it's really the point of recognition that's relevant. Where we have to take a moment and be like, whoa, 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 let me reconfigure. Let me do that math one more time. Let me run through that logic just another couple few moments. And it might have been there all along. We might have got it the first time, or we might have taken a very long time to get with the program. But that's really the thing, because we should be on this path of being like a galactic or a sovereign citizen. And what it's going to take to do that is being guided by faith, not by sight. Now, faith is the absence of evidence. In the absence of evidence, therein lies faith. But faith is evidence based. So there just needs to be some kind of source that we align to. Maybe we look to the stars for guidance. Maybe we look to Papa Dio for guidance. Maybe the law or whatever, what have you. But there's something that's bigger than ourselves, greater than ourselves, loving, caring, and kind. That's what a higher power is. It's bigger than ourselves, greater than ourselves, outside of ourselves. But let me tell you a secret. The step beyond higher power is it should also be a source. So we don't have to fathom it, we don't have to understand it, but we should be able to tune into it. And when we do kind of merge into that source energy, it should wash away a lot of confusion and a lot of fear. That's a not a that's like a 202 or 303. It's not a 101. It's not a faith 101 kind of principle. It's a step after first believing in there's something bigger, broader, and better than ourselves. A lot of people's first God is instant karma or karma itself. Okay, I'll be honest, that's true for a lot of us. We have the World card here, the Star card, Seven of Pentacles, and the Wheel of Fortune. So hi, hello, and welcome. If you're new here, I want to welcome you. If you're returning, welcome back. It's a delight and a privilege and honor to serve you. Thank you for allowing me to do so. Grant me this one moment. Remember, I was rattling through the six sisters, the types of things that we receive from the divine. Six means we're aligned with spirit, because when matter turns into, I mean, when spirit turns into matter, it's a six. It's the word descend. And when matter turns into spirit, it's a nine. The word is ascend. So when we say 666, yeah, it does talk about the mark of the beast, but it also talks about six protons, six neutrons, six electrons. It's carbon. A little secret for the students here. So the baseline of this reading, this meeting, is going to be the World card, Star card, Seven of Pentacles, Wheel of Fortune. Again, I repeat, the World card, Star card, Seven of Pentacles, Wheel of Fortune. In a week or so, our destiny is going to be restored. That's the Star card and the World card together, some kind of destiny restoration, restoring a timeline. And then somebody may have Taurus and Saturn and Taurus, but or in the second house, or we've come full circle or we've made a revolution in some type of belief system. Second house is beliefs and values. Really values itself, belief system is ninth house. So there's something here where we're kind of turning the wheel. We're finally getting it. There's a window here open where we're being seeded with faith. It's almost like Seven of Pentacles. They're like, you reap what you sow. So we're sowing in little faith seeds, little faith nuggets, or we're making investments into our faith, or we're making investments out of faith, or we're just simply acting out of faith, or the plan that we have, the agenda, the strategy that we have is faith-based. You hear what I'm saying? You hear the trend. Okay, so it's the same energy, my dear, but it manifests for us a little bit differently according to what we got going on, according to who we are, what we're about. Okay, okay. So what I'm seeing is that, we're starting from this place where we've come full circle. We get the point of our incarnation, or there's something about this life that we're going to take. We're going to take it and we're going to run with it, and we're really just going to sit secure in that understanding, that philosophy, that notion. Okay, and it's going to inform our spirit, karma, life path, destiny, our bigger, brighter, and better future, our faith, hope, and optimism. This star here, and what that is, what that looks like. Why don't we go ahead and see? We have the Ace of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles. Here's the Five of Wands. Oh, and Diavolo. Okay. So yeah, there was an opportunity to be boring, to be basic, to be bottom of the barrel. Like I was saying, crab in a bucket is Five of Cups, bottom of the barrel is Five of Wands. And those are both energies of like, the policing. Stay low, stay stupid, get in the box, be conditioned. Who are you to think you should have self-worth and value? Oh my gosh. Who are you to think you can be bigger, better, and better? Why don't you just go ahead and be ordinary? Why don't you just get in the box and be conditioned? The status quo, nar nar. Politicking. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, tone policing. That's what the Five of Wands and the Five of Cups give us. It gives us that whole, like I said, virtue signaling, the tone policing, the respectability politicking, the individuality shaming, the concern trolling, the compassion baiting. It's policing people into the status quo so they can stay small, stay conditioned, stay controllable. And that's what we're stepping out of in this life. And that's also the condition that we have to overcome. That's the lesson. That's the gauntlet that we have to kind of face and that we have to throw down and contend with, all of us. But for different of us, we're going to have a different experience, but that's the generalized nature of the energy. We all kind of come here to find our way. Some of us are extra special. We might even call the word chosen. We all have to kind of find our purpose here, which involves, a sacred mission and answering the calling on our life. And what we overcome will be some type of policing into the conditioning or programming that we experienced when we were, in our formative years, being socialized. Maybe as even children, it can be our community, it can be our family, but there's this five energy, which is the bottom of the barrel. And if we're dealing with the Five of Cups or the Five of Wands, that's this respectability politicking, this virtue signaling where it's policing our conditioning and programming. It wants us to stay small, stay stuck, stay stupid, stay low vibrational, stay trapped in whatever conditions were imposed on our life. And we're running, into the way out, and we're contending with something. We might have to, realign our mind. We might have to play with some things that we were never told. We might need to discover a few things. We might need to break a few, not really rules, but constructs that were imposed on us just to kind of gain our bearings and understand our options. Because the only bad option, the only bad choice in life is having only one choice, having only one option. We get to choose. It's part of the free will. That's part of why the third dimension is a quarantine zone. It's a quarantine dimension because if we understood the divine will, or we understood the divine favor, or we understood the calling on our life, we wouldn't always act out of free will. Does that make sense? But with the ability to choose, with the ability to respond, we have the responsibility to choose the right thing. And the best position to be in to choose the right thing is to understand the calling on our life. Therein lies faith. That's the real, true, genuine definition of faith. We all have our instinct and our intellect. These are things that are formed, but these are also things that are given. In between instinct and intellect, we have identity and intuition. And those are the things that we develop. Those are the things that we hone. Those are the things that we work on. And those are the things we have to use to make it or break it, to make it up and make it out of what we were imposed into, what we were conditioned and programmed into. That's what I'm getting. That's the message. Otherwise, this Five of Wands and Devil card is something else all entirely. And it would talk about, criminality and demonology. It is lessened with the Wheel of Fortune. It actually says that a lot of us are going to make it out just based off entrepreneurship. When you have the Wheel of Fortune and the Devil, it talks about, striking it rich in terms of like gold, black gold, oil, or, gemology or real estate development, things that happen underground. Okay. Diamonds, even. Sometimes it could be business, but I need the Chariot card present as well. Otherwise, we need to kind of face the things that go bump in the night, which is our shadow. The devil rules ignorance, it rules fear, but a little also bit of falsities and, toxicity, negativity. We have the King of Pentacles, Six of Swords, that's receiving grace, Page of Swords, Two of Swords. Yeah, so we do have to have an opposing mind. We can't actually go along to get along. We might have to actually be saying no. We don't have to always say no right then and there. We don't always have to explain why the reason is no. We might just need to say no. We might not even need to vocalize that, but we need to have some kind of barrier or boundary. And we are feeling of an opposing mind or feeling of two minds, Page of Swords, Two of Swords. We might also be feeling discerning because the King of Pentacles and the Devil card can represent Sun in Capricorn or Capricorn midheaven, which would mean an Aries rising. So we have Sun in Capricorn, Aries rising, and we also have Taurus in Saturn in Taurus or in the second house. We have, that's what we have so far. We could also have Mercury in Capricorn. I repeat, Mercury in Capricorn. We could also have, to a lesser degree, Saturn in Leo or Saturn in the sixth house. So Saturn in the sixth house or fifth house talks about being afraid to come out to play, being afraid to be our authentic self, being afraid to embark upon our dreams because of the authority around us. And it's not even just the authority, it would be the elders, those who kind of lay down the law. It's the colonizer and controller. What is the colonizer controller archetype? It's the construct in this reality that socializes and conditions us. So what is the colonizer and controller? The colonizer itself would be the mother, daddy, teacher, preacher, and the controller would be the history books, the science books, the religious books. Ultimately, the archetype combined of colonizer controller is the five filters of reality, therefore to known as media, education, religion, politics, and government. Those are the filters of reality, what controls this construct for the masses, not for every single person, but by and large. Okay, it's never an absolute, not for this equation, but by and large, most people on the surface of the planet are operating under the construct that was imposed upon them by the status quo. We'll call that today the colonizer controller. So we have the Five of Pentacles now. So Nine of Wands, Tower, Nine of Pentacles. Okay, so I do want to also say that we might not just have Saturn in Taurus, we could have Mercury in Taurus. So we can have Saturn in the first house, Saturn in Taurus in the second house, or Mercury in Taurus or in the second house. So yeah, there might we really don't have the wherewithal to think of our own. It's going to be costly to have our own thoughts, to have our own opinions, to have our own beliefs, because we'll be leaving behind whatever support we were given. We have the Six of Swords here, but we don't have the Six of Pentacles or the Six of Wands. But we have the Five of Wands, we have the Five of Pentacles. So it was expected that we be bottom of the barrel. It was expected that we would be exiled if we didn't conform. And the moment we decide to break out, break free, the moment we decide to have an opposing mind, the moment we decide to say no, we could be admonished, if not even exiled. Five of Pentacles, left out in the cold. And this is something that we've been thinking over the last couple few weeks. I want to say maybe since the Virgo full moon, we might have been thinking, or even maybe the Leo full moon, we might have been thinking, what does it take to have my own opinion? What does it take to do what I want to do? What does it take to kind of leave or to even a little bit extract myself from all that I was taught, all that I was given, all that was said about who I was? Who am I really, not who was I told to be? There's a quote out there that says, finding love is really more about being love. And really, even more than that, it's about removing all the obstacles to the love that's already there. And remember what I started the cast as love is this baseline energy that we need to really experience the upper aspects of the universe. Nine of Swords, Justice card. So we will do it, and I'm proud of us. Nine of Swords, Justice, like I said, the High Priestess. So it's backfiring for the status quo. We call those the PWB, the powers that be. PWB, the powers that be. Because there's what we call an exposure or just a grand disclosure moment. Sun, Eight of Wands, Page of Wands. Yeah, we're feeling expansive. We're feeling expansive. We want to break out. We want to break free. We're not trying to get by. We're trying to be free. And one thing that I'm sensing is there really is Aries energy here. So when you have the Aries energy and you have the Justice energy, that line together is the Fool card. And that Fool card is 29 degrees of Pisces going into 0 degrees Aries, which is, again, it's a renewal of consciousness. It's a tapping and tuning into our eternal self. It's the soul of humanity, the spirit of humanity in human form. So I'm getting multiple downloads, but one thing that I'm sensing here is there is Moon also in Libra, because we have the Two of Swords, the High Priestess, and the Justice card. That's Moon in Libra. There's this energy here of wanting to break up, wanting to break, feeling expansive, and coming into some type of universal alignment. Justice card, which basically realigns our timeline, that restores our timeline. And there were all these things lying in wait to kind of keep us conditioned, keep us stuck, keep us control. And like I said, we've broken out, broken free, or at least we're starting to. Our energy is becoming hard to handle. And there's all these mechanisms of control that are trying to be imposed, but they keep backfiring. Five of Wands backfire, Nine of Swords backfire, Five of Pentacles backfire. It's not happening. The colonizer control of the systems, the structures, the foundations, the status quo, it's not working. The conditioning and programming is being eradicated. It's not working. That's what I'm getting. That's what I'm sensing. That's what I'm seeing. What is this Two of Swords with the Justice card? Vertex of Abundance is the galactic temple of ascension, delivering sacred messages from behind the veil. Again, my name is Serene Priestess Abossi. I'll be your oracle today. And as always, I was sent to deliberate the findings, which today we will be using La Vida Sabila, the daily oracle by Los Carabello, to deliberate any findings for correlative and corresponding energy. For any type of pairing energy, We'll be using the minor arcana from the Cosmic Coven Tarot, and that's by Lillian Lazenby over at Ripe Avocado. And any type of love, if I do see it, which I don't yet, we'll be imposing, we'll be deliberating those findings from Top of Love Oracle by Violet by the Tarot, and that's over at Etsy. And then we will be imposing Emperor, Three of Cups, Hermit. We will be imposing the guidance from This Might Hurt Tarot by Isabella Rotman, and she's over at Liminal 11 Publishing. So let's see what this Two of Swords and Justice card is, because the Moon and the seventh house or the sign of Libra means we were trying to be fair. We were trying to go according to the law, according to what we were told. We were trying to put our trust, our faith in others, and it didn't work because other people telling us what we need and other people telling us what we should use to find harmony and equilibrium in our life was becoming problematic. It's easier to trust when we can verify. And it's one of those things, don't take advice on a journey of 1,000 miles from somebody that's never even left their own house. It's one of those things. So there's a sudden turning of events. There's something shifts suddenly. Something that we probably choked down or put away, maybe a dream that we swallowed once upon a time, is coming back with a vengeance. We're discovering that we really do have the capacity to be what we want and not who we were told to be. And there's been our soul's deepest calling has been, beckoning to us from the recesses of our mind, the depths of our soul. And finally, we can hear that calling. What's this King of Pentacles with the Devil? Yeah, so there's been a lot of mechanisms, a lot of sleight of hand, a lot of flight and fancy. And honestly, this other side had control for a long time and it's slipping and there's nothing they can do about it. Frankly, now they need to depend on sheer loyalty and it's not there. They were ruling by role and not relationship. Role power has a lot of power until that role is no longer needed. And the ways of old have already been long since disappearing. And when you notice that an old institution is failing, that our old empire is failing, you need to find a succession plan or a transition plan, or you will be out with the old. It's evolve or die. If the world around you is getting better, if the world around you is changing and you by definition are staying the same, you are by definition getting worse and becoming obsolete. So that's what the PWB, the powers that be, didn't realize. The PTB is about to become the PTW. The powers that be are about to become the powers that were. So what is this? We have the High Priestess and the Nine of Wands as well. So we've had 9 lives or 9 lifetimes of this, but there was also some kind of entitlement and also a little bit of shunning. There was some force or aggression used to get us to be where we were. We're recognizing that we were manipulated into something. And the moon in Sagittarius or in the 9th house talks about having some feeling that we're worth more or we're stronger or that we can do more than what we were told what we are. Again, we were told who we were, who we are. We were conditioned and programmed. And whoever we truly genuinely are, whenever that was kind of calling out and we were speaking to that effect, that was tapped down and it was shunned and shamed. And now there's a massive reversal and it's coming kind of aggressively, where our true authentic self is emerging and something from the depths of our soul is calling out, and our authentic self is beckoning, and our deepest soul's need is pushing forward, and it's here sospiri, which means the longing. And yeah, because our authentic self was kind of suppressed in some kind of way, and we were given what appeared to be the trappings of comfort and security, but in reality, it was a gilded prison. It was a gilded cage. Um, and so, to birds born in a cage, flying looks like an illness. To an uninformed caterpillar, a butterfly with wings looks like something that has a sickness or a disease. Does that make sense? Freedom can be just as scary as imprisonment and bondage. The thing about it comes eventually one day, which pain are you going to deal with? Are you going to deal with the pain to change, or are you going to deal with the pain it takes to stay the same? You choose your pain. So our spirit is now come alive. As our soul is dancing inside of our body, and our authentic self needs to emerge. Our authentic self, our true nature, wants to introduce itself to us, and we're no longer suppressing that aspect of ourselves, and that's got the old guard, the old institution terrified, shaking in their boots. So why don't we have a look at this and see what it is? Okay, so we have this very strong Saturn energy and Taurus. So it's talking about the old status quo, the systems and structures and foundations of the yesteryear. Yeah, the institution is falling because they were able to provide this thing that they want. They had us breadcrumbed over, and now that we've become our own source, now that we know how to go directly to God, and we can bypass the preacher, we can bypass the teacher, we can bypass the intermediary. They're like, uh-oh, these people are a little too independent. They're a little too faith-based now. What is this soul and timeline restoration that I'm seeing here? Okay, agitated. So the other side was expecting us to stay uninformed, unawakened. They don't want us being empowered. They were hoping that we would feel safe and secure in whatever we were told. However, they were hoping that they had some way of instructing and informing our awakening, that they could guide us into further trappings of control without our knowledge. And now that we have a little bit of independence, now that we're examining what we've been told, now that we're examining how we've been conditioned, that's a threat to them. Okay? That, there's no other way to say that, my darling. So why don't we move on to the pairings here? I'm noticing already that we have a pair of eights. I misspoke. We definitely have a pair of nines. The message from the other side, a pair of nines normally means I need to take space. This is Seven of Pentacles. So there was some strategy, agenda, modus operandi, maybe even some motive. And it did give them rulership, but it also gave them a barrier, quarantine. They were able to free something in place. And now it's kind of undone. So we've secured our own position. We have our own glory in our own hand. And again, that's threatening to something. We've thrown a wrench in their plans, or we've triangulated their sovereignty. So now the glory doesn't go to them. And who is this they that I refer to? This is the system of yesterday, the powers that be, the old colonizer controller, the old guard, you know, history book, science book, religious books, mother, daddy, teacher, preacher. Something has shifted across the globe in society. It's not just the different generations. I think it's because we're the dawning of Aquarius, the age of Aquarius has really come. You know, Neptune is moving into Aries, so out of Pisces. So we're really becoming independent now. So we have a pair of fives. Why don't we look at that and see what that is? Yeah, we know our worth is what it is. We know what we deserve. Ooh, and it's a challenge. The way things were projected and the way that the energy was manipulated on the surface of the planet no longer works. Not only have we thrown a wrench in their plans, Three of Swords, we've cut them off in some kind of way. I need to go back to the correspondence here because we have something, there's a guilty verdict here with the Nine of Swords and the Justice card. Not only has the thing backfired, but it's been found to not work. There's remorse and guilt here. So everything that was lying in wait and everything that was set up, that's all they have. That's all they can rest on. They don't really have the ability to act with people that are independent and sovereign, which means they never really invested in us authentically. There was always a need for there to be some type of disproportionality, some type of non-equal, unequal benefits exchange. It was never going to be on even footing. It was never going to be mutually beneficial, nourishing needs exchange. It was always going to be some type of power disadvantage, inequity. They were thriving on inequities. So we have a pair of twos, two of pentacles, two of swords. Let's have a look, see. Again, the messages keep coming from the other side. So there was some kind of illusionary success. They were vainglorious, prideful. And they had also they had a very long run. They were benefiting off of our unhealed, unawakened self for a very long time. They thrived for a very long time on our naivete, our innocence, our ignorance. And there is a pair of pages, I was correct. Only card that came face where, okay, so the message is that it's a wrap. There's been an awakening. We've hit a rock bottom. After a breakdown comes a breakthrough. Again, I repeat, after a breakdown comes a breakthrough. And that is, oh, so this energy projection, this spell of Kingu is broken. So a spell of Kingo is a weaving and a luring of a lulling of folks asleep, especially in a group. And there's a playbook. I won't say the source of the playbook, but they say the easiest way to debilitate a nation is to train people to miseducate their kids. Again, the quickest way to destabilize a nation is to train people to miseducate their grandchildren. So there was some type of spell of Kingu, and it was a generational group ritual by the colonizer controller, by the powers that be, and it's come undone. I pardon me for speaking so strongly, but Devil in the World card always talks about time magic, so we're undoing something that's gone on for generations here. Mi piace, mi piacere, mi scusi. I had to say it. It needed to be addressed, my darling. Okay, so we have Six of Wands. There's a Hierophant, the Taurus card. Yeah, so there's a new Earth emerging, and there's the Six of Wands, the Glory, Hierophant, Ace of Swords, Seven of Swords. Okay, so we have five, six, and seven of wands. It's all Leo cards. So we're breaking out, breaking free. We're finding emotional fortitude. There's a triple ace here. So we're tapping into a new source, and now there's the king of wands. Yeah, so there's about to be an energy swing. We're hitting a tipping point across the surface of the globe where the people are going to tune into, tap into a different source. And we have the new world, which is a continuation of the old paradigm. But we also have the new earth, which is all the souls that have collectively gone through their own spiritual awakening. They'll be able to navigate the surface of the planet differently. They'll be able to walk through the world in a way that suits and honors whatever spiritual truth they have attuned into, whatever spiritual initiations they've recently undergone, will they'll be able to carry that forward. And it's not like a schism, because the thing about the third dimension, it's a petri dish. It's literally a construct. So two people can be walking next to each other and live in completely vast different worlds. One person will be rich, one person will be poor. One person will be privileged, the other person will be still in some kind of stinking thinking. It's all according to vibration. Put it this way, two people can witness the exact same event and walk away with two completely, vastly different experiences. But this is about a Leo midheaven, which would give us this Taurus rising. So there's all this stuff happening in April, May about a new earth, a new world. We're ushering in a new vibrational frequency across the surface of the planet. That's what this is. Because we're feeling entitled to be our authentic self. And the old way, the old guard is going to try to impose some type of restriction, regulation. They are going to try to restrain or to regulate whatever they think they can. You can just look at the way they're doing cryptocurrency. They're trying to get a finger on this new whatever. They don't want the control to slip through their fingers. However, something new is emerging. So let's see what this King of Wands and the Seven of Wands is saying. Because it's saying we are already on high ground. The reason that they tried to control us so much is because we were mighty. They didn't want us to know how mighty we were. And so the reason why we're on high ground is because there's something that we've already attained, or there's something that we have that needs to be protected. And we've never been able to see it that way because that was already conditioned out of us. See, the Giovanni Fantulo, they're already expecting us to stay small, to stay stuck, to stay stupid, but they're also not wanting us to realize our innate ability to never notice something deep within the self. They want us to be dispossessed so that we don't tune into, tap into what's already deep alive in us, and that's our sovereign power. By nature of being born a human being, we're embodied with a soul and a spirit, which can call on immense spiritual power. If enough people in any region are aware of this, it becomes formidable. Yeah, so one thing I'm sensing is that they don't want us to meditate. Maybe not as a collective together, because they're going to try to lure us and to lull us into some type of future trap where our abundance is kind of hemmed up, tied up in some kind of way. Okay, so let's go to this triple ace. We now have three aces. We also have a pair of sevens, so there's an alert here. So there's another spiritual union here because we're chosen. Nine of Cups. We've made it. If you're watching this video, we've made it. There's something about us that's bigger, brighter, and better, or there's something about us that's being restored, and we're collaborating, co-creating, cooperating with each other as our souls together on the surface of the planet in a way that's a little bit scary. We're breaking free from the hell that was created for us. Yeah, there's a song, Earth is ghetto, I wanna leave, cause you beam me up, I'm down on the street. I don't remember who sings the song. I wanna leave, I wanna leave. Earth is ghetto, Earth is ghetto. I wanna leave. I don't remember who sings the song. Um, Earth is Ghetto song. It's on Instagram. It's a soulful black girl with some glasses and braids. That's all I could tell you. But she sings a lot of songs and they're very powerful and they will hit you. And listen, she takes it there. So, fair warning. Earth is ghetto. Earth is ghetto. I wanna leave. Okay, it's super duper coming through. Um, we have a pair of threes, which typically talks about a compact, not just some kind of union, but it's a union with the spirit, a compact. Compact or vows. And what came through was that we've made it, we've been chosen. So um, we're like double, twice and thrice blessed. Spirit is coming through, like Moses with the parting of the sea and Passover and all of that. Spirit is coming through. We're being marked, some of us, for the rapture, is what I'm thinking. But I'm speaking out of turn because the judgment card didn't come. It's like you hear what I'm saying? It's not time yet. But the divvying up of who's chosen and who's not. Because now we have another six here, six of swords and six of wands. So let's look at that. What is this pair of sixes? Earth is ghetto. Okay, nine of wands. Ooh, with the seven of swords. Yeah, so there's some fake spiritual strength here. There's also the evil eye because we are chosen. Nine of cups, we are chosen. These other people are not chosen. They're the opposite. I wouldn't really call them damned, but I would call them forsaken. Because the Six of Wands is receiving glory, the Six of Swords is receiving grace. What is this pair of sevens? Okay, so we've secured some type of position because of standards and boundaries. People were trying to touch the covering on our life, and they tried to hem us up where we couldn't really go after. Um, they didn't want us on the path to being saved. And that was never going to happen. That was never going to work. We were always protected, even if it didn't seem like it. It was only supposed to look like we were damned or cursed or forsaken, but it was never going to be the case. We also have a pair of kings here. What's that about? Uh-oh. Yeah, so there's, because the pair of kings talks about an alliance. So what we didn't realize is that the reason they had us stuck on stupid is because they wanted to copy our soul's vibration and go into the divine realm or go into the spirit and try to like access certain energies or access certain realms, trying to pretend to be divine. And that was only going to work as long as we didn't know. And now that we know, now that we've all had spiritual awakenings, those access points are closed. Because now with this latest upgrade, you need DNA clearance, meaning you can't access certain spiritual gifts without a DNA clearance. So these cabals, these covens, these dark principalities, these demonic, dominions, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's been an honor and a privilege and a pleasure to serve you. Thank you for allowing me to do so. This was a reading about the awakening of humanity, the ushering in of the new earth, and it's going to be happening a lot in April and May. So I conclude the counselorship today, reminding you next steps would be to lean into your self-worth and value, to lean into how you feel you really deserve, to remember who you are and why you came here, to listen intently for the calling on your life. Understand that very soon, as long as we're obedient to the divine, obedient to the gift that we were given and shared with the world, that we will have our timelines restored. Our ships will be coming in. And it may happen in the middle of May, it may happen towards the end of April, it may happen in the first couple of weeks of April. Okay, the burden that we've been shouldering, walking here upon the earth, really living in a hell realm, is really more purgatory. It's over. Because we were the bright light in a dark place, and we no longer need to do that, not for very much longer. Okay, there will be a creative new beginning, and we should already have in mind the things that we want to create for ourselves and for our lives. That'll help us through the next couple few weeks. And just to remember that the powers that were, the powers that be are becoming the powers that were. We don't need to worry about the old status quo because it will fall. And even if it doesn't fall immediately, we can start to take space from it. And it may be difficult having difficult conversations, letting people, especially family, know that we're no longer the thing that they thought we were, that we're no longer going to support the narrative that they've had for our lives, that we're no longer going to be complicit in the conditioning and the programming that we were taking part in. We're no longer co-signing the narrative that doesn't fit our lives. We're deciding to be free. That we've taken soul's wisdom, we've gone inside for answers, and we're fine being left alone. We're fine confronting the unknown. We're fine doing anything other than ignoring the things that are deep alive in our soul. So the opposite side of the conversation would be to say, like, hey, in order for me to do the things that everybody else want me to do, I would need to deny my authentic and true self. And that's the thing we're no longer willing to do. So it is okay. It is okay to upset some people, and we don't really want to do it. I understand. There's the rapture. But that is what we need to do. We need some people to be a little upset with us, or we need to be fine upsetting some people. It's fine if we're now the villain in somebody's story because we did the thing that we needed to do to sleep at night. So until we meet again, namaste, dandava, and ashe. Just a quick prayer for all those still lost out there. To illusion, delusion, confusion, trapped in the seas of time, lost in the dimensions, yet to heal, yet to awaken, yet to return to authentic grace of unconditional love and universal oneness and anapanapano. We love you, Aside. Please forgive us. Thank you. We pray that your steps are ordered, your path illuminated, and that you find redemption and salvation in this lifetime. Until we meet again, until we read again. Namaste, Dandava, and ashe. See you in the next one. Take good care. Bye-bye.